On this video we're taking a look at our NHL Parlay for the games that are happening on Saturday, March 19, 2022. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Our first parlay pick is Dallas Stars vs Islanders. Stars win. And here is why. This is going to be a great game between two teams eager to improve in the playoff picture. The Islanders have played great on both ends of the ice recently, winning 4 of their last 5 games, but the Stars look to build off a recent win and find favorable matchups on both ends of the ice. The Stars look to build off a 4-goal performance and find the back of the net throughout the game with Roope Hintz, Joe Pavelski, and the rest of the forward unit establishing a strong offensive zone presence and finding open shots with great puck movement near the net. The Stars should also limit the Islanders' offense with Ryan Suter, Esa Lindell, and the rest of the defensive unit, creating turnovers in the defensive zone and limiting shots on the net, while goaltender Jake Ettinger steps up and blanks the Islanders' shots. The Islanders are playing decent hockey lately, but the Stars are the more desperate team right now. In what should be a close game between a couple of similar teams, the team that wants it more usually finds a way. Dallas was bumped outside of a playoff spot but is only 1 point behind 8th place Vegas with 4 games in hand. The Stars have gone 10-5-1 since the All-Star break, which has them in thick of things in the West down the stretch. The Stars are 3-2-1 on the road in their last 10 and have won 9 of their last 13 road games. Dallas can smell playoff spot and they are a decent road team. They'll try to make this game as tough as possible on the Islanders. New York has been very average at best this season, although they've had their fair share of adversity. They generally struggle to produce offensively, and their depth just hasn't been able to hang with that of playoff caliber teams. They are 5-7-3 at home against Western Conference opponents this season and are 22nd in the NHL in home point percentage. The Islanders have been playing well over the past week, but they don't have much of a differentiator. The Stars are in decent form and hunting a playoff spot. Our second parlay pick is Chicago Blackhawks vs Minnesota Wild. Wild win -1.5 goals, and here is why. The Blackhawks look to bounce back from a rough overtime loss and pull off the upset on the road. The problem is that the Blackhawks face one of the best teams in the Western Conference in the Wild that look to overwhelm them on both ends of the ice. The Wild should pile on the goals against a Blackhawks defense that has allowed 11 goals in the last 3 games with Kirill Kaprizov, Ryan Hartman, and the rest of the forward unit establishing a strong offensive zone presence and creating open shots with great centering passes. The Wild should also limit the Blackhawks offense that is only scoring 2.61 goals per game with Alex Goligoski, Jared Spurgeon, and the rest of the defensive unit stepping up and forcing turnovers in the neutral zone and defensive zone alike while limiting shots on the net, allowing goaltender Cam Talbot to make plenty of easy saves. Saturday's 11-game slate kicks off with a matinee of the Blackhawks heading into Minnesota to take on the Wild. Unfortunately, this one isn't going to be an epic battle. To start the day off with much excitement, Chicago will be hard-pressed to try and tame the Wild on their home ice. Minnesota is 18-7-1 at home this season and coming off a nice 4-2 win over the Bruins Wednesday night. The trio of Kaprizov, Zuccarello, and Fiala have led them to third in goals, scored per game at 3.68. Even more impressively, that average balloons to 4.15 goals per game at home. On the other hand, the Blackhawks have been even more wild this season in terms of their instability. They've gone from behind-the-scenes investigations, losing their coach, and they are surrounded by never-ending trade speculation for their goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury. There have even been whispers that superstar and lifelong Patrick Kane may not play out his career in Chicago. Aside from the personal distractions, the Blackhawks have lost 8 of their last 12 and are 9th in the league allowing 3.41 goals per game. Against a team like the Wild with plenty of firepower, Chicago will be blown away back to the Windy City. Our third parlay pick is Pittsburgh Penguins vs Arizona Coyotes. Penguins win -1.5 goals. And here is why. Arizona has been torching the net of late as they have racked up a massive 35 goals in their last 6 games. Unfortunately for the Coyotes, they are facing a team that is solid in their own end in the Penguins. Pittsburgh has owned Arizona in recent years, as the recent trend points out. Having Jerry between the pipes makes things that much tougher for the Coyotes as he's been lights out most of the year. Arizona has still struggled at keeping the puck out of their own net, even with their recent success. Given the way Pittsburgh has played this season and their efforts to catch the Hurricanes in the Metropolitan Division, Crosby and the Pens head out west to take on Arizona for a matinee, local time at least. The Coyotes have been howling as dogs recently, but Pittsburgh will put an end to that. The Penguins are the absolute best in the league on the road, bolstering a 27-4 record. Even worse news for Coyotes fans is the fact they have the absolute worst home record at 9-21. Aside from the pure home road splits, the Penguins simply outman Arizona. Aside from Clayton Keller, the Coyotes have very little in terms of consistency. Pittsburgh is also coming off of a close shootout win against the Blues Thursday night. In that game, Crosby was held pointless for the first time in 10 games, along with stars Malkin, Rust, Letang, and Gensel all being held pointless. When the Pens played the Coyotes back in January, those studs accounted for 10 points in a 6-3 victory. It's safe to say they'll be licking their chops to face a Coyotes team that has allowed over 3.5 goals per game. Not to mention, Pittsburgh is still focused on catching the first-place Hurricanes and holding off the Rangers and Capitals to avoid any wild card drama. Arizona has been more focused on trying to even have a stadium to play in. Expect the Pens to call the Coyotes' ice their own. Disclaimer, no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you, the user, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.